Attention all, units hear the call. We're stepping up, we're standing tall. Lights flashing, sirens scream. We're the force behind the dream. This is the squad, feel the beat. Taking control of every street. Power surge through the night. We're the ones who bring the light. Bring the From the shadows to the scene, with a strength you've never seen. Pushing forward, breaking through, all together.
We'll be starting soon.
This is the squad, feel the beat. Taking control of every street. Power surge through the night. We're the ones who bring the light. Bring the Stand back, feel the rush. In the chaos, we're the hush. Every heartbeat, every move. We're the rhythm, we're the groove. This is the squad, feel the beat. Taking control of every street. Power surge through the night. We're the ones who bring the light. This is the squad, feel the beat. Taking control of every street. Power surge through the night. We're the ones who bring the light. Bring the We're the ones who bring the light.
Hello, hello. Oh yeah, I need to change this. We're going to be taking a look at Trump's rally that he did in Butler, Pennsylvania just yesterday, I think it was. Yesterday or the day before. Yeah, yesterday. I was just curious because I seen that on X that that Musk actually spoke here, so I was curious on what actually was all said. Because of course some people are freaking out about it, so I thought it might be an interesting watch. And when it comes to these things, I actually like to watch the whole video, so I'm not gonna skip right to Musk talking. And I'm making a copy, so yeah, just give me 1 second, I'll be right back.
In the depths of the night where shadows creep, a battle ensues where angels weep. Darkness whispers its sinister tune, while light prepares to vanquish the gloom. In the hearts of men the conflict rages, between noble deeds and ancient cages. Evil lurks in every hidden corner, but goodness stands firm, its light a mourner. Oh, the spiritual battle, timeless and grand, between good and evil, across the land. In the depths of our souls, the fight's unfurled, but love's eternal flame shall conquer the world. On the fields of righteousness warriors rise, their armor gleaming neath the darkened skies. With faith as a shield and courage their sword, they march towards victory in one accord. Demons whisper lies, temptations allure, but the righteous remain steadfast and pure. Their spirits aflame with divine fire, they resist the darkness, never to tire. Oh, the spiritual battle, a cosmic dance, between virtue and vice, in every chance. In the heart of existence, the war's unfurled, but love's eternal light shall conquer the world. In the realm of the soul, where spirits collide, between virtue and vice, in every chance. In the heart of existence, the war's unfurled, but love's eternal light shall conquer the world. In the realm of the soul, where spirits collide, the fate of the universe shall forever reside. Yet hope springs eternal in the depths of despair, for goodness shall triumph, its victory rare. As the battle rages on through time and space, the forces of good and evil face to face, but love, the champion, shall prevail, its triumph echoing through every tale. So let us stand firm in the face of the night, with love as our beacon, our guiding light. For in the end, when the battle is won, goodness shall reign under the eternal sun. Oh, the spiritual battle, a struggle profound, between virtue and vice, the universe bound. In the soul-sacred journey, truth's flags unfurl, and love's eternal truth shall conquer the world. As the stars twinkle above and the night fades away, the echoes of the battle in the dawn's first ray. But fear not, dear souls, for the light has won. In the symphony of eternity, love's song has begun. So let us walk forward with heads held high, in the victory of goodness under the infinite sky. For in every heart the flame shall burn bright, guiding us home through the darkest of night.
Okay. Got my copy made. And I think I can start. Hopefully there's actually volume. I'm surprised there's like no noise. Something's wrong. I don't know if it's on my end or... That's like...
With a purple heart and
there
a
we go.
couple scars.
Oh, no, there it went again.
A proud supporter of President Trump.
That was weird. I guess
When
that was
he is
on
elected
their side.
president, he will deliver the greatest economic boom to America than we've ever seen. We'll see growth in our energy sector. We become a manufacturing powerhouse. We'll see growth in real wages, which will benefit all Americans. It's great to see so many people here. Thank you. God bless.
I've just seen people freaking out on Musk today, so I decided I was going to watch. And then I seen that Musk spoke at Butler, Pennsylvania, so I wanted to watch this rally. There we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the
Just to see
stage
what was
American
actually said.
investor and founder of the Witkoff Group, Mr. Steve Witkoff.
The Witkoff Group. I don't think I've ever heard of that. Of course, just to be clear, I'm from Canada, so I might not hear some names of places. I have no idea if I spelled that right.
I have some prepared remarks, but I would like to extend my blessings to the Dutch and Copenhagen family. My heart is with. And so,
What is this again?
Gentlemen, please welcome to the stage American investor and founder of the Witkoff Group, Mr. Steve Witkoff.
Okay, what was it?
I would like to extend my blessings to the Dutch and Copenhagen family, and also to the Corey Compatore family. My heart is with you. This is a beautiful, beautiful town. We had a.
It's
I
good
was
that they've come
marveling
back
at
here
the beauty.
for the
Patriots
campaign.
of Butler, Pennsylvania, it is my honor and my blessing to stand before you today. I'm not just here as a
Real
speaker, but I am a dear friend of the president and someone who has had the privilege of knowing President Trump personally, witnessing his strength and commitment to our nation. You know President Trump as a man who never backs down. I've been at his side through some of the toughest moments, and I can tell you, he embodies the leadership we need in these times for our nation. I was 10 feet away from him during the second assassination attempt. Amidst the chaos, President Trump stood tall. He didn't flinch or complain, not one bit. He chose strength, not for himself, but for us, for me that day, his friends, his staff, and for every American who believes in this country. That's who Donald Trump, my dear friend, is. He's a fighter, the toughest fighter I know, who refuses to be broken or beaten. He faces adversity head on and says, "Bring it on." At the Republican National Convention where I spoke, I shared a side of the president many do not have the luxury of seeing.
Just want to add to this. It was a very, like, as tragic as that day was, he got one of the most iconic pictures taken that could have been taken from him that day. Like, and it's crazy to think that actually happened in my lifetime. It's truly crazy to think that, especially with how it went down. It was the most bullshit thing I've ever seen. Not because I think it was staged or anything, but because I think the Secret Service should have really been nailed to the wall for their fuck up there that day.
Seeing his empathy. While the media paints him as tough, they don't show how deeply he cares. He feels the burden of every challenge this country faces and understands the struggles of everyday Americans. I'll never forget when he reached out to me after I lost my son,
Hello,
Andrew.
Apache.
He wasn't just the
Sorry,
president.
only seen.
He was a friend, offering comfort and ensuring we weren't alone. That's the kind of leader he is.
You're
The
actually,
kind we need more than now
Yeah,
than
yes, I
ever. The kind.
at least I know the chat's working from YouTube. And I know it works through Rumble, but I'm streaming from Rumble Studio to Rumble and YouTube. So it's nice to see that the chat's working. Thanks for coming too. And hello.
Who came here today, even though he lost his own life on this very stage, but he was not going to be deterred. Today, we stand at a pivotal moment. In the wake of the Iranian attack, our nation stands at a crossroads. The world watches to see who will step up to lead us. We need a leader who understands the gravity of this moment, who embodies strength in action, not just in words. President Donald Trump is that leader. My friend has stood up to tyrants and bullies, making tough decisions and always putting this country first, even when it wasn't an easy choice. That's why we need him more now than ever.
And it definitely hasn't been
This
easy
isn't
for him.
about politics. It is about the soul of our country. It is about choosing strength over weakness, vision over indecision, and leadership over chaos. We are living in a time that demands greatness.
It sucks
As
that I can't
Abraham
actually,
Lincoln once said, you cannot escape the responsibility of tomorrow by evading it today.
I guess there went Apache.
President Trump understands that he is the most consequential president in the history of this country. He knows that leading this nation is about taking responsibility for our future, ensuring our children and grandchildren inherit a country that is safe, prosperous, and free. Behind the headlines, and the political battles is a man who wants to see America thrive. He believes in every fiber of his being that this country is still the greatest nation on earth and that her best days are yet to come. So as we face this pivotal moment in history, ask yourselves, who do you want leading this country when the enemies of freedom threaten our way of life? Do you want someone who bows to pressure because this man doesn't? Or someone who stands up, fights back, and says, no matter what you throw at me, I will not break. I will not waver. I will not back down.
And he hasn't.
That is Donald J. Trump. He has the courage to face today's challenges and the vision to build a brighter tomorrow. The pathway to peace, prosperity, and strength isn't found in weakness or hesitation. It's found in unwavering resolve. It's found in a leader who refuses to let America be pushed around or let our enemies dictate our future. So Butler, Pennsylvania, this beautiful town, I ask you to stand with me. Stand with President Trump and stand for the future of this incredible country. Together, we will overcome every obstacle and make sure America's best days are still ahead. Thank you. God bless you all. God bless President Trump and his family, and God bless the United States of America.
I wonder why they're cutting out the audio. Eric and Laura Trump. I can't imagine the stress that family's gone through. I know other families have gone through a lot, and that's not downplaying it. It just, since he first stated he was running in for 2016, it's just been nonstop at that family.
Pennsylvania.
Oh, I bet you it's with the music. Okay. Yeah, I get it now.
Pennsylvania, I've never been more proud to be anywhere in my life than I am today here with you on this stage. This is a big family. They tried to take away someone we all love, and they did take away someone we love in Corey, an incredible man. His family's backstage. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. They've tried to get my father every single second since he went down that golden escalator. Laura and I have witnessed it every single day.
Yeah.
They tried to smear us. They tried to bankrupt us. They came after us. They impeached him twice. They went after his Supreme Court justices. They weaponized the entire legal system. The Russia hoax, the dirty dossiers. You remember every single one of them. Far left AGs, far left DAs in every far left place in this country went after my father. They tried to pull him off the ballot in Colorado. They tried to pull him off the ballot in Maine. And it has not worked. And then, guys, they tried to kill him. They tried to kill him. And it's because the Democratic Party, they can't do anything right. They can't do anything right. You see it this week in the FEMA response in North Carolina, and in Georgia, and in South Carolina, and in Florida. You have people's houses floating down rivers. And what does Kamala do? She comes out and says, yes, I'd like to give that family $750. We send $200 billion over to Ukraine so beautiful young kids can shoot at each other in trenches. $200 billion. We give hundreds of billions of dollars to Pakistan. They wouldn't tell us that bin Laden was literally a mile away from their equivalent of West Point. We send hundreds of billions of dollars to them. We gave $150 billion to Iran, a country that chants death to America. And Kamala Harris comes out and says, we're going to give $750 to the person who lost their house in a mudslide. Guys, this isn't America first. This is America last. But the good news, help is on the way. And help is on the way from the bravest person I have ever met in my entire life. My father's been the greatest father a person could ever have. He's been an inspiration to this entire country. And he was an inspiration here in Butler when he stood up with blood running down his face and said, fight, fight, fight. I love all of you so much. I really mean it. This is a family. This isn't politics, guys. Guys, this isn't politics. This isn't politics. This is a movement of absolute love of hundreds of millions of people who want to save the United States, who want to keep our country number one at absolutely everything we do. And that's why we're going to re-elect Donald Trump as the 47th president of the United States. And Kamala Harris comes out and says, we're going to give $750 to the person who lost their house in a mudslide. Guys, this isn't America first. This is America last. But the good news, help is on the way. And help is on the way from the bravest person I have ever met in my entire life. My father's been the greatest father a person could ever have. He's been an inspiration to this entire country. And he was an inspiration here in Butler when he stood up with blood running down his face and said, fight, fight, fight.
Say what you want about the man, but when it comes to pressure like that and under circumstances like that, not many people will do that.
I love all of you so much. I really mean it. This is a family. This isn't politics, guys. Guys, this isn't politics. This isn't politics. This is a movement of absolute love of hundreds of millions of people who want to save the United States, who want to keep our country number one at absolutely everything we do. And that's why we're going to re-elect Donald Trump as the 47th president of the United States. Guys, we love you. And to a woman that is doing a truly great job in every aspect of life, from being a great wife to an unbelievable mother. By the way, I think Caroline and Luke Trump are the most popular Trumps right now. Did you guys see them a couple weeks ago? Vote for Grandpa. Make America great again. But she's doing a hell of a job as the RNC co-chair. You know, I get to go to bed every single night and wake up every single morning listening about voter integrity. It's really great. I'm really, really excited for November 6th when Laura can turn over in the morning and not talk about voter integrity. But she's doing a hell of a job. Ladies and gentlemen, Laura Trump.
All right, Pennsylvania. Is anybody here ready to send Donald J. Trump back to the White House? Well, we're 31 days away. 1 month from right now, as Donald Trump always says, will be the most important day in the history of America, because this is a pivotal moment for our country. And I don't even have to tell anybody that here. We can all feel it.
And the biggest question with that is the whole problem with Kamala Harris actually overseeing the counting of the election. I just don't see that as a good thing. I don't know how they can I mean, maybe I'm being pessimistic, but I just don't think it's a good look for the Democrats to have her counting that. But I guess we'll see.
This is no longer a fight between Republican versus Democrat, left versus right. It is good versus evil. And good is going to win this battle, ladies and gentlemen. And if you had any question whether God exists and he performs miracles, we got our answer here on July 13th, right here in Butler, Pennsylvania. He spared Donald Trump's life because he was not finished with Donald Trump. And he did it not once, but twice. And I've said it time and time again, but now you feel it more than ever. Donald Trump was made for such a time as this. It's such an honor to be back here in Butler. And, you know, I knew before Donald Trump even said he wanted to come back here that he would come back to Butler, Pennsylvania, because in life, you can operate with fear and cowardice, or you can operate with strength and faith. And that's what Donald Trump operates with, strength and faith. And that's the kind of leader we need to see back at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. We need strength in this country.
And faith above all else.
And Eric's right. I've been doing a little something with making sure that we have free, fair, and transparent elections, and that only legal citizens are voting in our elections here in the United States of America. That's okay. It's been the #1 focus of the RNC since I took over alongside our chairman, Michael Whatley, back in March. We have had a big goal of recruiting 100,000 people to volunteer as poll watchers, poll workers, legal experts on the ground. And we said, I don't know, 100,000 is a lot. I'm happy to report that we have trained 200,000 people across this country to do that.
200, wow, that's...
So our message is very
the
clear.
benchmark.
If you are a person who is considering cheating in our elections, we will find you, we will track you down, and we will prosecute you to the full extent of the law. And if you're an illegal citizen voting in our election, we'll track you down and prosecute you to the full extent of the law, and you're leaving this country. How's that sound? Don't do it. It's not worth it. But real quick, before I go, is everybody in this crowd registered to vote? Well, it could be that you've heard of someone who's been doing so much voter registration right here in Pennsylvania. His name is Scott Pressler.
Scott Pressler. Pressler.
And he has done an
Pressler's
incredible
been doing an amazing
job. We have flipped Bucks County and Luzerne County from Democrat to Republican in terms of voter registration. And I would like to invite my friend Scott Pressler to come up and say a few words to you folks, if you would welcome him, please, to the stage right now.
That's awesome to have him up there. He's been doing incredible work.
And he wore shorts for us today, so check out his legs. Look at that.
Okay, I won't change that. No, I want to search. There we go. I think I spelled that right. Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, I gotta redo that. Okay. This is his X profile, so if you guys want to go give him a follow, he's been doing incredible work. Absolutely amazing. I don't think anybody else is doing on the ground work like he has been. It's quite something to see. So yeah, go give him a follow. And we'll go back to this.
This. Yes.
I wish I didn't wear shorts today. Mom and Dad, I honor you on the stage today, Captain Robert Pressler and my mom, Carol Pressler. Pennsylvania, you have the power to change the world. Pennsylvania wins the White House, and so please, I ask you today, please check your voter status, make sure you're an active voter registered at your current address, and please visit vote.pa.gov and register to vote today. A message to our union workers: we want your vote. We want to keep jobs here in America. To our beautiful Amish and Lancaster and across the state, we will protect your raw milk, your dairy, your farming, your school choice, your religious freedom, your ability to afford to have 10 beautiful children per family. To our hunters, 30% of you are not registered to vote. Please, our hunters, support the Second Amendment, register to vote. To our truckers that service us every single day, please request a mail-in ballot or vote early, lock in those votes. To our sorority sisters and our fraternity brothers, please, you have the power. If you're going to school here in Pennsylvania, register to vote legally and lawfully here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. I feel this from the top of my head to the tip of my toes, I love our great country. President Trump took a bullet for us. Please use your ballot and have his back on Tuesday, November 5th, and deliver Pennsylvania for Donald J. Trump. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, before we go, what we're going to do here today, ladies and gentlemen, is we're going to make a new memory in Butler, Pennsylvania. And this will mark the moment that this election was won for Donald J. Trump. Let's send him back to the White House on November 5th. We love you, Pennsylvania. Thank you. God bless.
Yeah, I'm happy that they had him up there because I've been following what he's been doing, and that guy's been working tirelessly up there. And actually, I just don't think there. He's been in quite a few places already. Is Trump going to be coming up now?
It's lost when the cause seems to be unwinnable, when the night seems to never end and hope is on its knees. We rise. When will they learn this man cannot be stopped? This movement cannot be defeated. And even when they mock us, even when they slander us, even when they count us out of the fight, we will not stop.
We will not bend. We will not break. We will not yield. We will never give in. We will never give up. We will never back down. We will never, ever surrender. My fellow Americans, our movement is far from over. In fact, our fight has only just begun.
That was a good intro video for him.
And I had to start again with just my children and my wife. Thank my lucky stars to be living here today. 'Cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
At the very least, I can't be demonetized for
from the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea. Detroit down to Houston, and New York to LA. There's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Sing it! God, I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
An amazing song to have for this.
Lee, thank you very much, really. And thank you, a very big thank you to Pennsylvania. We love Pennsylvania. And as I was saying,
don't let people forget.
oh, I love that. I love that chart. I love that graph. Isn't it a beautiful thing? But also beautiful because look at the number. That's the day I left office. It was the lowest Border Patrol, the lowest it's ever been. Illegal immigration. Today it's out of control. But I love it for other reasons too. You know that. So thank you very much. And thank Lee and what Lee has done with that song. And it's such an honor to have it. I want to just let you know that tonight I returned to Butler in the aftermath of tragedy and heartache to deliver a simple message to the people of Pennsylvania and to the people of America. Our movement to make America great again stands stronger, prouder, more united, more determined, and nearer to victory than ever before. We're going to make America great again. Going to win the election. Going to win the election. And to all Americans, whether you are Republican, Democrat, Independent, Conservative, or Liberal, or you have no label whatsoever, it makes no difference. Our movement, it belongs to you. It belongs to our country. It belongs to our country. And together in just 1 month, we are going to usher in a new golden age of American security, prosperity, sovereignty, and freedom for our citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed. Exactly 12 weeks ago this evening on this very ground, a cold-blooded assassin aimed to silence me and to silence the greatest movement, MAGA, in the history of our country. MAGA. We love MAGA. For 16 harrowing seconds during the gunfire, time stopped as this vicious monster unleashed pure evil from his sniper's perch, not so far away. But by the hand of Providence and the grace of God, that villain did not succeed in his goal, did not come close.
Well, he came close.
He did not stop our movement. He did not break out our spirit. He did not shake our unyielding resolve to save America from evils of poverty, hatred, and destruction. Yet we are here this evening in record numbers. This is a big crowd. This is a big one. This is a big one.
not only to mark the triumph of American spirit, but over, and you know that this is really, truly, in the truest sense, spirit over evil and adversity, but also to pay tribute to some of the best and bravest we have ever known. This field is now a monument to the valor of our first responders, to the resilience of our fellow citizens, and to the sacrifice of a loving and devoted father, a really great man. You know that.
Yeah, it's quite a moment in history. I mean, even putting aside the assassination attempt, like the whole scene, like the people didn't even scatter or freak out or take off. They were all standing on a strong foundation, really. It was just truly remarkable to see that. Never expected to see something like that in my lifetime.
Forever afterward. Forever after, all who have visited this hallowed place will remember what happened here, and they will know of the character and courage that so many incredible American patriots have showed and know, and they know it at a level never seen before, probably. First, I want to thank the men and women of the U.S. Secret Service who threw their bodies on top of mine. Without even a thought for their own lives. They were on top of me so fast. They were on top of me, and there was not even a moment of doubt in their minds. You watch those tapes, not even a moment of doubt. I want to thank Secret Service. They're great, great people. They are great people. And in that moment, those agents displayed a devotion to duty that cannot be described, and they did it yet again less than 3 weeks ago when they really did a fantastic job. Another attempt. It was another attempt. We have an evil world. We have a very sick world. My gratitude to them is beyond measure. We also owe a tremendous debt thanks to the Secret Service counter sniper and a local police sniper who returned fire within seconds and stopped the shooter quickly and saved many lives. If he didn't stop, he saved many lives. He had a lot of bullets, a lot of ammunition up there with him. And we are, just amazing when you think they did it so quickly without any knowledge of what was going on, boom. And had that not happened, it would have been a very different story. It would have been potentially many people. I also want to express our thanks to the Butler Township Police Department, incredible people. The Butler Sheriff's deputies, Pennsylvania State Police, and all of the other law enforcement heroes, as well as the emergency personnel and doctors, the medical teams at Butler Memorial Hospital, Allegheny General Hospital, who rushed me and rushed some of these very badly wounded people. They were wounded, a lot of badly wounded people, and in particular, two people. And I tell you, they were very brave and great people. They were big Trump fans, and they still are. That means something. That was pretty amazing. You know, when I got up, I asked whether or not anybody was killed. I assumed that there would be a lot because I heard the bullets winging right over my head. They said probably 3. The doctors did such an incredible job. It was one great gentleman, but the other 2 have been amazing, actually. They've gone through it. They've gone through a lot. And when the crisis struck, they did really Pennsylvania proud. You've heard that expression, Pennsylvania proud. It's a great place. I went to school. I went to college in Pennsylvania. It's a great place. The people are incredible. Also, and I have to say, after
returning to the field tonight is one of the really brave Americans who was hit by the assassin's bullet, U.S. Marine veteran David Dutch. David, thank you. Thank you, David. Thank you, David. And David, we're thrilled to see your recovery is going well. Great doctors up here, I have to tell you, great doctors. Your courage is really an inspiration to us all. So I want to thank you very much, David. A great gentleman, great gentleman. I want to send our love to someone who could not be here because he has just undergone a major surgery related to the shooting. A man who was really badly wounded, like David, James Copenhagen. Because James was a wonderful man, a big Trump fan. And Mr. Copenhagen is out there watching us right now, but he's in a hospital where they did some additional work, but he's in great shape. He wanted to be here so badly, but he's in great shape, and we appreciate it, and we're looking to his full and complete recovery. He will have a complete recovery. Thank you. Thank you very much. And of course, there's one more hero who could not make it back here tonight because he is no longer with us, right? You know who that is, right? Corey, our beautiful Corey. Corey is not with us tonight, and he should be. And we all miss him. He's become somewhat of a folk hero, I have to tell you. Who is with us is his beautiful wife and daughters and relatives, sister. Please, where are you? Where are they sitting? There they are. There's a lot of people. It's not easy to find people in this audience. Goes back further than you can see. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Great family, a great, incredible family. And he loved you a lot. And, you know, his wife said something very beautiful. The public, a lot of people, all of us, a lot of people have been very generous. And she said, I'd rather have my husband. That's a good thing to say. That's a good thing to say. I'd rather have my husband. Corey Comparator was an incredible husband and father, a devout Christian, a veteran, and a proud former fire chief, very respected within the town. Everybody knew him. Few men volunteered to run into fires, but Corey was one of those who did. He ran into fires. I spoke to people that were with this guy would do anything. He was brave, right? Brave guy like you. And he was also a protector who put his life on the line for others, and he loved doing it. And when the sound of gunshots pierced the air on that July evening, Corey leapt into the fire one more time. In his last seconds of this earth, he threw himself on the top of his wife and daughters. He didn't want them hurt. He threw himself. He said he knew what was happening. He didn't want them hurt. And he was hit hard. He was hit hard. And he gave his life to shield their lives. Every father and husband in America hopes that if the time came, we would have what Corey had. Tremendous courage, tremendous guts, and he wanted to protect his family, and he did protect his family. At this time, it is 6:11, 12 weeks to the minute that the shooting began. I would like to ask everyone to join me in a moment of silence.
Really good to have this. People.
sia pleno. Ave, ave Dominus, Dominus tecum, benedicta Frae Maria Ribos, et benedictus, et benedictus fructus ventris tui,
I thought it was supposed to be on top.
Now that is what you call a voice. One of the greatest opera singers in the world, and Christopher Macchio, who's truly a great talent, is going to be back when I leave, and I'm going to stay backstage watching every song. He's going to sing 3 or 4 great songs, Nessa Dorma and others. And so I wouldn't leave your seat too fast when we're finished today, but this is in honor of 3 great people, actually, 3 great, and in particular, Corey. And we appreciate it, but that is a real voice, isn't it, huh? That's not, what do you think, Mr. Future Vice President? Pretty good, right? I don't know if you could do that, JD. I don't know. I don't think JD can do that. In the face of murderous hate, Corey answered the most selfless kind of love. We are joined this evening by Corey's incredible widow, Helen, his 2 precious daughters, Kaylee and Allison, and his sisters, Kelly and Dawn. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This is an incredible tribute. This is a tribute like no other, and he deserves it. To Helen and the entire family, I can only begin to imagine the depths of your grief, but I want you to know that just like you, we will carry his memory in our hearts for as long as we live. Everybody in this stadium and everybody that was there on that tragic evening, we are thinking about Corey. We think about him a lot. I know he's looking down on us right now from heaven, smiling at his beloved wife and daughters and his mother, Karen, and his entire family. And he's with you, and he's going to be with us for a long time because, you know.
One thing I want to add to this is it's quite amazing that his Corey's family is there too, because it would be very easy for them to turn on Trump and actually hate him for that happening. So it's incredible that they're still supporting him.
Some people just don't die in vain, and what he's left behind is incredible. And so God bless you, Corey. God bless you. Thank you very much. God bless you. You know, I just one little story. Helen told me that on the day that they came to the rally, Corey was really excited because somebody gave him great seats right up front here with the people from North Carolina, the ladies from North Carolina. This is their 227th rally. I don't know what's going on with them. Those beautiful ladies. But they always seem to have good seats. You know? But Corey had the best seat in the house, and he was telling his wife and family on the way over in the car, he said, I'm telling you, he's going to invite me up on the stage, because I do that sometimes. I take people, we invite them up at the stage. And she smiled, thinking it'll never happen. And little did anyone realize that Corey would be on the stage 3 months later in an almost immortal position. And that's where he is today. He's on the stage in a, I think, in not almost, I think it's a truly immortal position. So the love that he showed on that day and throughout his life is the love that sustains the entire movement, love that our families have, and it's love of our communities and love of our country. It's a force more powerful than any hatred and malice, because even in the darkest hours, it shines forth as a guide, and it guides us like nothing could ever guide us. It guides us really like a candle in the night. And so it's love like Corey's that is joining us to save our country, that's going to heal our country, and that is going to reunite our country as one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So what our opponents have never understood is that this movement has never been about me. It's always been about you. It's been about a lot of people, millions and millions of people, the biggest ever in the history of this country, maybe anywhere. And everyday people who are the heart and soul of our country. They love our movement. They love our country, and they know they're doing right. Your hopes are my hopes. Your dreams are my dreams, and your future is what I am fighting for every single day. And now I have a great companion in J.D. Vance. How good was he the other night? How good?
Yeah, he was pretty solid.
He was great.
He definitely held
He was
going.
great. But from the very beginning of this journey, I've been on a mission to rescue our country from a failed and very corrupt political establishment, very corrupt. We have to change it. We have to change it. We need also a very free and open press, and to give it back to the country you believe in and I believe in. It's a country that we were born in and the country that you deserve. You deserve this. In that mission, I will never quit. I will never bend. I will never break. I will never yield, not even in the face of death itself. And I believe that every citizen deserves an America with a grand, very, very grand ambition, great opportunities, and limitless. We just want limitless potential. We want an America where you can get ahead and be proud of life and provide for your family in a really decent way, where we don't have crime. We have a fabulous military to protect us from evil. We have everything has to be the best. We have to have the best schools. We have to have strong borders. We don't want bad people coming in and hurting us. We don't want to have open borders, do we? You deserve a government that protects and respects its own citizens, that defends your sovereignty, your security, and your dignity and your freedom. You deserve a nation that builds things, again, makes things better, that aims for the stars once more, and that once again commands respect. And we want to get respect like we had it 4 years ago. The entire world respected us. They respected us. They respected us more than they've ever respected us. And now they laugh at us. We can't have them laugh at us, can we? Above all, you deserve leadership in Washington that does not answer to the lobbyists, to the bureaucrats, or to the corrupt special interests, but answers only to you, the hardworking citizens of America, of which there are a lot of them. We have a lot of them. We have a lot of them. Over the past 8 years, those who want to stop us from achieving this future have slandered me, impeached me, indicted me, tried to throw me off the ballot, and who knows, maybe even tried to kill me. But I've never stopped fighting for you, and I never will. Never will. Never going to stop. Thank you. Thank you.
And in turn, you have always stood with me. You have always stood with me, no matter what. You saw what was going on. You saw the hoaxes and the scams. You saw everything that went on. We are a team. We're a great team, I think. We're probably the best team ever in the history of our country, if you really think about it. We've fought together. We have endured together. We have pushed onward together. And right here in Pennsylvania, we have bled together. We've bled. We've had 3 people that really got hit hard. 2 of them made it. Great doctors, great doctors. They weren't supposed to make it. I wasn't supposed to make it. People said, my great doctor at Butler said, sir, you're the luckiest man alive. This would be a good time for you to go out and buy a lottery ticket. I've never seen anything like. I almost went out and bought a lottery ticket. I'll take it. And 31 days from now, here in this great Commonwealth and all across our land, we are going to win together. We are going to vote together. We're going to win the greatest election in the history of our country, maybe the greatest election all time. After we all have been through all of this together, nobody's gone through what we've gone through. Nobody. Because I go through it, you're going through it too. But there's never been anything like this. You know, I always say there's an enemy from within and there's an outside enemy. And if you're smart, the outside enemy is not going to be a problem. Russia, China, North Korea, we're not going to have a problem if you have a smart president. If you have not such a smart president, then it's a problem. But we have an enemy from within, which I think is much more dangerous than the outside enemy. We stand on the verge of the 4 greatest years in the history of our country. We can make these the 4 greatest years. We'll turn it around so fast that your head will spin. With victory on November 5th, we are going to redeem America's promise and unlock the extraordinary future that is just within our reach. It is now within our reach. Think of it, 1 month from today, 1 month. We got to get there. We got to get there. They'll drop all sorts of bombs. They'll be hitting you, JD. They'll be hitting me. These people, they'll hit and hit. But I think we've almost become immune to it, haven't we? We've become immune to it. You got a little dose of it, a couple of little doses. No, that's the only way. That's the only way they can even think about winning, with open borders. Who wants open borders? Who wants men playing in women's sports? Who wants sex change operations for illegal aliens in holding bins? No, I don't think so. We will begin a new era of soaring income, skyrocketing wealth, millions and millions of new jobs, and a booming middle class. We're going to boom like we've never boomed before. And we're going to unleash a manufacturing renaissance right here in Pennsylvania, including fracking like we've never fracked before. We're going to frack. You know, our opponent said, there'll be no fracking, no fracking. We'll never frack. Then she started seeing poll numbers, by the way. And by the way, speaking of poll numbers, do you mind if I mention poll numbers? Because I only mention them when they're good. I'd never mention it. But one that's hit me really amazingly, Rasmussen, very highly respected poll. JD, it just came out. I don't think you heard this one, but this is a shocker. You know, they always say the Democrats will win the Hispanic vote, but we've been creeping up rather rapidly. And Rasmussen is one of the most respected polls. I mean, Republicans would get 4, 5, 6, 9, 10%. They just came out with a poll, 62% for Trump. Think of that. Look at that. And 34% for Kamala.
For Kamala.
I don't usually use her last name because nobody knows who I'm talking about. I go, Harris. They say, who's Harris? It's happening all the time. Who's Harris? And we can't find out who she is, because if we do, our country is going to be in big trouble. We will live in a very beautiful city or town that are safe and clean with borders that are sealed and secure. And again, we want people to come into our country. We all want that. We need that. But you know what? We want them to come in legally. They're going to come in legally and love for our country. And America will once again be strong and confident and free. And we're going to have that. We're going to have it strong, confident, and free. That's why I'm here today. You know, I could right now be having a beautiful life. I don't have to be here. I could be on a gorgeous beach someplace. I have such nice property. I could be in Monte Carlo as an example, but I'd rather be in Butler with you. I'd rather be in Butler. And I think JD would rather be in Butler, JD. No, I'd rather be here because we're doing something. You know, they get a lot of rich guys that go, nobody cares about them. I had one about a month ago, very, very rich guy, and he called me up. He said, President, I've known him for a long time. I don't say how long because I don't want my wife to hear that number. It's a long time. But he's very successful, and he said to me, sir, could you do me a favor? The guy's worth billions of dollars. He said, could you do me a favor? I can't get into a restaurant. Do you think you could call them to get me in? And I said, what the hell is the good of being rich if you can't get into a restaurant, right? And I called the maitre d'. Hi, I'm a little embarrassed. Hi, this is Donald Trump. I recognize your voice. So would you do me a favor? A friend of mine is online about a mile back. This is a very successful restaurant. And he's got his wife. I described the wife. Could you possibly go get them? Could you go get them and bring them in? And he did. And my friend called me up the next day. He said, thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, doctor, please. Doctor in the house. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, doctor. Yeah, thank you. Take your time, doctor, please. We got plenty of time, right? We got a lot of time. You doing okay? Take your time. We've got to protect our people, right? Take your time. It's all right, doctor. Go ahead. That's all right. That's all right. People come out 2-3 days ago, and then they get it's an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing. We appreciate everybody appreciates it. Yep. Take your time. That's great. That's great. Do we have the greatest people in the world? We have the greatest people in the world. First responders, thank you very much.
Okay, this has got to do there.
We will keep on going, and as the expression goes, I mean, I'm a little embarrassed to say it, to be honest with you, but I'm going to say it because a lot of people do say it. We will fight, fight, fight. We're going to fight for our country.
Not too long yet, Tyler.
We're going to fight for our country.
Up now.
And together we will save this country. We will restore the republic, and America's future will be bigger, better, bolder, brighter, happier, stronger, freer and greater, and more united than ever before. Our country will be united. You'll watch. You'll watch. You know, we had the most successful country ever, maybe in the world during my term. We had the greatest economy that we've ever had. And you know what was happening? We were uniting. The other side, radical left people were coming over. They wanted to meet. They were coming over. Women, men. If you look at population, our black population, our Hispanic population, our Asian population, everybody was doing better. People that went to the best schools and best colleges in the world got the highest marks, and people that couldn't get a high school degree, everybody was doing better, and our country was coming together. And then we got hit with COVID, a gift from China. Some people would call it the China virus. And we did a great job on that, too. We did a great job, but the world was disturbed. $60 trillion in damage worldwide, millions and millions of tens of millions of people killed. And we still, during this 4-year period, we had the greatest economy, one of the great countries of the world. And we left with a stock market that was higher than it was just prior to COVID coming in. So what we did was something really incredible. But we had the greatest, most successful country ever. We had the greatest economy in our history. And we're going to do it again, and maybe even better. We learned a lot. We learned a lot about people and about doing things and what works and what doesn't work. And we're going to do it, and it's going to be quick. It's going to be quick. And we're going to have safe cities, and we're going to have great cities again. And we're going to have a capital in Washington, D.C., which is right now crime-ridden. You leave from the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, you go drive down to Washington, D.C., and you drive down and you end up getting murdered. You end up getting hurt. You get mugged. We are going to straighten out Washington, D.C. We're going to make it again the most beautiful capital in the world. We're not going to have graffiti. We're not going to have graffiti on our marble columns. We're not going to have roads that have potholes all over them and medians that are falling into the highways. We're going to run it properly. We're going to change it. We're going to run it properly. It's an embarrassment to us. Can you imagine foreign leaders coming in and running over roads that haven't been paved in years? We're honored to be joined tonight by one of the people who is going to help us build this incredible future. And he is a truly incredible guy. And I don't say that often.
Here he comes.
He's a great gentleman. He's done such an unbelievable job for North Carolina, for Georgia, for Alabama, for Florida, for Tennessee. His name is Elon Musk. He saved free speech. He created so many different great things. Where is he? Come on up here, Elon. He created the first major American car company in generations, and his rocket company is the only reason we can now send American astronauts into space. Come here. Take over, Elon. Yes, take it.
Hi, everyone. As you can see, I'm not just MAGA, I'm dark MAGA. Well, first of all, I want to say what an honor it is to be here. And, you know, the true test of someone's character is how they behave under fire. And we had one president who couldn't climb a flight of stairs, and another who was fist pumping after getting shot. Fight, fight, fight. Blood coming down the face. Now, America is the home of the brave. And there's no truer test than courage under fire.
That's right.
So who do you want representing America? Yeah, absolutely. And I think this election, I think it's the most important election of our lifetime. This is no ordinary election. The other side wants to take away your freedom of speech. They want to take away your right to bear arms. They want to. They want to take away your right to vote effectively. You got 14 states now that don't require voter ID. California, where I used to live, is just passed a law banning voter ID for voting. I still can't believe that's real. So how are you supposed to have a good, proper election if there's no ID? It's just meaningless. And free speech is the bedrock of democracy. And if people don't know what's going on, if they don't know the truth, how can you make an informed vote? You must have free speech in order to have democracy. That's why it's the First Amendment. And the Second Amendment is there to ensure that we have the First Amendment. President Trump must win to preserve the Constitution. He must win to preserve democracy in America. Yes. This is a must-win situation. Must win. So I have one ask for everyone in the audience, everyone who watches this video, everyone in the live stream. There's one request. It's very important. Register to vote. Okay, and get everyone you know, and everyone you don't know, drag them to register to vote. There's only 2 days left to register to vote in Georgia and Arizona, 48 hours. Like, text people now, now. Oh, and then make sure they actually do vote. If they don't, this will be the last election. That's my prediction. Nothing's more important. Nothing's more important. So get everyone you know. Everyone. So I'm speaking to people out there. Everyone in the crowd, I think, is already convinced.
Yeah, and I don't think they mean literally, but it very well could be.
But for people out there that are watching the video, watching the live stream, you need to get everyone you know, at work, your friends, family, text groups, your social media, everything. Get them to register to vote right now. Only 2 days left for Georgia and Arizona. Only a couple weeks left in Pennsylvania. And if they're not registered to vote, it doesn't matter at that point. Register to vote. I'm being repetitive for a reason, okay? So nothing is more important. And a lot of people think maybe their vote doesn't count. Well, it does.
Yeah.
Okay? It does. It matters. And this election could be decided by 1,000 votes, 500 votes. A tiny margin. So get everyone you know to register to vote. I believe that's swapthevote.com. I believe that's the site. And double check that your registration is good. Don't take it for granted. I'm just being repetitive about this point because it is the one takeaway more than anything that will matter is getting those registrations and then getting everyone you know to actually vote. That is what will decide this election, especially in Pennsylvania. So thank you, and honestly, you want to just be a pest, just be a pest to everyone you know, people on the street, everywhere. Vote, vote, vote. Fight, fight, fight. Vote, vote, vote. Thank you.
What a great guy. And he'd rather be making rocket ships because he'd really rather do that. Nobody better. I think he's got 90% of the rockets that go up. But Elon, thank you very much. Incredible. Incredible. What he says is true. What he says is true. You know, we're all having fun here tonight, but if we don't register and if we don't vote, we're just going to look upon this as another sort of nice day in our life, but it won't even be a nice day. We're going to look back and we're going to say, wow, it's a lot of time, a lot of effort. We got to win. If we don't win, it's, as he said, it's just not important. We have to save our country, so you have to get out and vote. You got to get out and vote. You got to get your friends and vote because, you know, they play a lot of tricks, this particular other side. Elon's a very nice guy. He doesn't want to say it, but they play a lot of tricks. We can't let it happen. We can't let it happen again. We can't let it happen. And one thing, they showed us how bad they are. They showed us how bad a job they do. So that's one thing we got from this 4 years. They've done the worst job. It's the worst president in the history of our country. It's the worst vice president in the history of our country. And if you watched over the last couple of days, they are doing, this is a Katrina for them. This is one of the worst. They say it's the worst job ever done on helping people through the ravages of a hurricane. And they're watching, she's out there campaigning in San Francisco, a place that she ruined. Okay, she ruined San Francisco. She ruined, think of this, she ruined San Francisco. She was the worst DA. And she ruined the state of California. And now she wants to ruin the United States of America. We can't let her do it. So I called Elon to tell him that they needed Starlink as an example. They couldn't get Starlink. I didn't know what Starlink was, I must tell you. Elon, I'm so embarrassed. I didn't know what the hell Starlink was. That's he loves Starlink. He can tell you every little screw that's needed, every wire. Me, I didn't know. But when I was in North Carolina and Georgia just the other day, yesterday to be exact, but they were saying we have tremendous communications, especially in North Carolina, and we have tremendous problems. We have no communication. The poles were ripped down, the wires were underwater, houses were destroyed, possibly 1,000 people, maybe more will be, you know, there's 600 people missing. Missing is not good because you know what missing means generally. That's really bad. And they had no communication. They had literally no communication with, they called it the mainland because the water was so crazy. It was like they were in the middle of a lake and they'd never seen anything like it. And they said, do you know somebody named Elon Musk? I said, yeah, I happen to know him a little bit. He just endorsed me, actually. Although he endorsed me a long time ago, but he still, to me, every day is a good endorsement from Elon. Nobody's smarter than Elon. And they said, could you do us a favor? Could you help us? We're trying to get Starlink, and it's very hard to get. Most people say you can't even get it. I called up Elon. I said, North Carolina's in big trouble. Georgia's in big trouble. They need communication. They have none because their poles have been knocked down and their wires are underwater and even dangerously underwater, but they have no communication. Elon, could you do something about Starlink, whatever the hell that is, Elon? Whatever Starlink, that's all they want to hear is Starlink. And an amazing thing happened. I got a call from one of the top people in North Carolina. I got a call from another great person in Georgia. And I wasn't finished with my phone call yet. And they got word that Starlink would be delivered to the States. I said, no. And I said, what the hell is he? What kind of a system is that? Normally you'd have to hang up and he'd go and call people. He did it during the phone call. What kind of a system do you have? That's why he's a very advanced, he is a very advanced person. But I want to thank you, Elon, because I got it. And I said, how does it work? 2 days later, how does it work? They said, much better than the wires. So now I'm saying, why the hell aren't they? You're going to come out very well anyway. And you know, he also said, you don't have to pay me. You pay me someday when you get the money back. You don't have to pay me. He wanted nothing. He's a great guy. Thank you, Elon, for being here. Thank you very much. Great honor.
That's awesome that he showed up.
Great honor. Thank you, Elon. And that's heartfelt. I can't even see the end. That's a lot of people here today. We're also joined by a great gentleman, a top, brilliant student. He went to a tremendous college and he graduated like right at the top of his class. In 2 years, I didn't know you could do that. It's 4-year college. Then he went to the military. Then he came out and he did fantastically inside the military. Then he came out. He went to Yale without the benefit of family ties. You know what that means, right? Without the benefit. That's pretty good without family ties. I don't know too many of those people. They had no family ties. He got in. He can't get in. And he graduated along with his wife. The two, they're not going to have any problems with your kids academically, I can tell you. His wife and him were like the top students in the class. But he went to Yale Law School, and then he went out into the private sector, did great. Then he ran for the Senate, and he did fantastically. He won, and he's like a rocket ship. He's like one of Elon's rocket ships, the way his career is going. But you see why, because he's a really brilliant guy, and you saw that the other night in the debate, right? You saw that the other night in the debate.
Yeah,
you know the expression they have?
It's pretty amazing.
If that were a fight, they would have stopped it, right? So I just want to thank JD. I was always confident in that pick. And we had great people too, JD. We have every one of those guys were great. Every one of them would have done a great job. It was amazing. But we appreciate the job you're doing. And he's also very energetic. And he'll go on anywhere. He'll go on MSDNC. I say, oh, he's on that. He'll go on CNN. It's like he has no problem. He swats them like this. He has no problem. No, it's true. You know, other people say, sir, I'd rather not do that one. I'd rather not do that one, sir. I'd rather not do them because they are, you know, very, with him, he doesn't care. He says, they're not going to outsmart me. So I want to thank JD. You've done a great job. Thank you very much. Amazing. Great. We have a lot of senators and a lot of people from Congress. I'm going to introduce a few of them that are really outstanding, and they are warriors and they're great patriots. Senator Eric Schmidt. Where's Eric Schmidt? He's around here someplace. Nice, tall, handsome guy. Thank you, Eric. What a great job you've done. He helps us so much with the Senate, and we've got a great Senate. We have to get couple of more senators elected. Well, I think it's going to happen, too. I think it's going to happen. We have members of Congress here. Dan Muser. Dan, where's Dan? Great job. Real warrior. These are warriors. Guy Reschenthaler. That's the hardest name in the Senate to pronounce, but I've learned how to pronounce it. Guy, thank you very much. Great. Where's Guy? Guy, thank you very much, Guy. Glenn G.T. Thompson. Fantastic guy. Thanks, Glenn. Great job. John Joyce. Thank you, John. Great. Corey Mills. He's out there fighting too. He's out there. He is out there in North Carolina, Georgia. He's out there helping people. Mike Waltz, who's a tremendous national security asset. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mike. Okay, and a man who was my doctor. I got to know him as a doctor in the White House, right? And then before that, he was actually an admiral, and then he went to the White House. He was a great admiral. He was a great doctor. And I love him for one reason. They asked him in the White House, the press, the fake news media said, who is the most? He was the doctor for Obama, Bush, and Trump. That's pretty good, right? White House doctor for the three of us. He said, the press, who is the healthiest of the three? He said, definitely it's Donald Trump. There's not even a contest. And I love that guy. When he said that, JD, when he said that, I said, I like this guy. So then he said, you know, sir, he was leaving the White House. He said, you know, I'd love to run for Congress. And he ran against 28 people. They were all running for the Republican primary because whoever won that primary is going to win. I think it's a Trump plus 48. Whoever wins gets 48 point start. And not only did he win, he won easily. And now he's one of the most popular people in Congress and one of the most talented, maybe more importantly. Ronnie Jackson. Ronnie. Where's Ronnie?
I think JD comes up.
Where is he? Okay. Thank you, Ronnie. And you got a lot of talent surrounding you there.
Oh, maybe not.
I think it's very important also. We're here.
Okay, I need to go take a leak, so I will be right back.
Vengeance, our hearts burn with flame. We march as one with fury. They will tremble at our name. Feel the thunder of our stride. We will crush, we will conquer. Leave no foe left to hide. The earth quakes beneath us. The sky darkens in fear. Through blood and through pain, we rise again unbroken. We break every chain with stillness of the ancient, with strength of the wild. We claim our place in legend, fierce and undefiled. Feel the thunder of our stride.
I'm back. All right. I don't think there's any way to actually change the title of the stream. Yeah, I don't think there's any way I can do that. Hello. Yeah, I was just watching the Pennsylvania Butler rally that Trump had yesterday, mainly because I wanted to see what Elon had to say. I'm going to go back to that, rewatch what he said.
Major American car company in generations, and his rocket company is the only reason we can now send American astronauts into space. Come here.
Take over, Eli. Just take over.
Hi, everyone. As you can see, I'm not just MAGA, I'm dark MAGA. Well, first of all, I want to say what an honor it is to be here. And, you know, the true test of someone's character is how they behave under fire. And we had one president who couldn't climb a flight of stairs, and another who was fist pumping after getting shot. Fight, fight, fight! Blood coming down the face. Now, America is the home of the brave. And there's no truer test than courage under fire. So who do you want representing America? Yeah, absolutely. And I think this election, I think it's the most important election of our lifetime. This is no ordinary election. The other side wants to take away your freedom of speech. They want to take away your right to bear arms. They want to. They want to take away your right to vote effectively. You got 14 states now that don't require voter ID. California, where I used to live, is just passed a law banning voter ID for voting. I still can't believe that's real.
Okay, let's go to
Then we're running against her. So they had 12 people plus her, and they wanted to be politically correct, and they picked her. And I don't know. I actually think if it keeps going like this, like we're doing, because they said she'd have a 6-week honeymoon, and she did. She had a little bit of a honeymoon period. You know, they went from the fake news, went from calling her horrible, the worst vice president, a total disaster, couldn't speak, couldn't do anything, to being wonderful. She's wonderful. Soon, the fake news. You know, they have the fake news as their partner, and we have a little news, but our news has been. And I never understood why they'd want this, why the fake news would want it, other than they hate our country, because I can't understand. Why do they want open borders? Why do they want sex change operations for people that are too young to even think about it? Why do they want men playing in women's sports, you know? Because we actually are now the party of common sense. I think that's what I like calling us now, right? Party of common sense. But with her in office, inflation will soar.
There we go.
You see where she's working on inflation? Nowhere where she has no idea what she's talking about. She's working on, I will work on inflation. Why didn't you do it again 4 years ago? Why didn't you do it again? You know, my theme with her is, why didn't you do it again? But why didn't you do it then? Why didn't you do it 4 years ago? Why wouldn't you have done this stuff? You want to do this stuff. They want open borders. So now they gave it a little bit of a closure, so the numbers look a little bit better than they did. The damage is done. We got 21 million people in here. We have 647,000 criminals released from jails and insane asylums, released into our country. The damage is done. But you say, how could you be talking about the future? The damage is done. They've got to be talking about getting these criminals immediately out of our country. We have to talk about that, and we're going to do it, and we're going to do it rapidly. Why didn't she do it 4 years ago? The economy will crash, your borders will be permanently erased, your towns will be ravaged, and our country will never, ever be able to recover from this disaster. We're going to recover fast. But if you go 4 more years, you may never recover. In fact, I will say, some people say it, I think it's very severe, but I can understand it. Some people say you'll never have an election again. This would be your last election. And I can see it. Remember, I used to say we'll be Venezuela on steroids. And that's sort of what's happening. We're Venezuela on steroids. And we're buying a lot of Venezuela oil. How about this? We foreclosed on his old, broken little plane, the dictator, the head. We foreclosed on his plane, but we buy billions of dollars of oil. Can you imagine that? Should be the opposite way, really, shouldn't it? You know, we took his plane away, but we give him billions of dollars a month in oil. Can you believe it? We're buying oil from Venezuela, and we have more liquid gold under our feet than any other country in the world, and it's good. And they don't have oil, they have tar. They have tar. You have to melt it. And you know where it gets melted? In a refinery. You know where? In Houston, Texas. So if you're an environmentalist, all that stuff, I'm going to talk to you about this with Texas. All that stuff is going up into, we do it. It's the only refinery in the world that can do it because basically they have a lot of tar and you have to melt it and it's a dirty process. We have the sweetest, lightest, most beautiful stuff. It's not even believable. The only way to avoid this miserable fate for America is if Wisconsin and the entire Midwest turn, and I mean turn out in record numbers. We need, and I hate to use this word because they should have never done it with respect to COVID. They should have never done it. But for this, we need a mandate. They shouldn't have done it with COVID. Everybody that did it should be ashamed of themselves, what they did. But we need a mandate in the vote, and we're going to get it. I actually think we're going to have numbers like has maybe never been seen before. You know, last time in 2020, we got more votes by far, by millions, than any sitting president in the history of the United States. Think of it. It's unbelievable. Think of the difference. We wouldn't have had Russia going into Ukraine and killing millions of people. Millions of people have died in that war, much worse than you even hear. But that wouldn't have happened, would have never happened. I talked to Putin about it a lot. It was the apple of his eye. He would have never, ever done it, wouldn't have done it. On top of that, the oil prices went up so high that he was making a lot of money doing it. It would have never happened. You wouldn't have had October 7th with Israel, the attack on Israel. You wouldn't have had inflation. You wouldn't have had the Afghanistan most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. And we lost 13 great soldiers. Nobody ever talks about the 40 soldiers that were decimated, so badly hurt. And we gave them $85 billion worth of the best equipment anywhere in the world. How stupid. And they moved out the military first. You're supposed to move out the military last, not first. And for 18 months, I spoke to Abdul. He's still the leader of the Taliban. I spoke to him. They said, Abdul, don't do it. But we didn't have one soldier killed in 18 months in Afghanistan. They were killing them like crazy under a man named Barack Hussein Obama. Remember Rush Limbaugh? Remember Rush Limbaugh? Rush Limbaugh would go, Barack Hussein Obama. We miss Rush. We need Rush. Oh, we miss Rush. But they were killing them, a lot of soldiers. And I said, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. We didn't have one soldier in 18 months killed until we had that tragedy of a day and a moment, the most embarrassing moment in history. And actually, Russia, I think, went in because they saw how stupid we were with Milley and these guys that didn't know what the hell they were doing. We have great generals, by the way, but not the guys that you see on television. And you have to tell Kamala Harris that we've had enough. We've had enough of you. You're a horrible vice president. You destroyed San Francisco as the DA. You destroyed California as the attorney general. You're not going to destroy the United States of America. Kamala, you're fired. Get out of here. Fired. We're not going to let him do it, Troy. We're not going to let her destroy our country. That dummy. Did you see where the teleprompter went off yesterday? She didn't know what the hell. My teleprompter, I don't even use it. That's why I don't actually use it too much. But, you know, when you do this stuff a lot, teleprompters break. She had a bad moment yesterday. It broke, right? And she kept saying the same number over and over. I said, what's wrong with her? And maybe it didn't break. I don't know. She said it broke. But when you do this stuff, as we say professionally, you better, because I've lost it many times. I had one in Ohio for Bernie Moreno, who's doing pretty good up there. He's running for the Senate, just like Eric is doing great here. He's running for the Senate. Eric Hovde. Doing good. Good man. He's a good man. Got to vote for him. But when you do it as much, you know, it breaks. I was in Ohio. I think it was the windiest day ever in the history of Ohio. It was like Scotland. And the wind was blowing at a level that I've never seen here in this part of the world. And the teleprompters were like sails. Wah, wah. And then they blew off the stage. They blew. And we had 50,000 people. It was a great day because he took the lead right after that, a big, beautiful lead in the primary. But it was sort of an amazing experience. But you lose them all the time. And you have to be able to have a mind where you can actually speak without a teleprompter. And isn't it nice to have a president that can speak without a teleprompter? Isn't that nice? It's sort of nice. But you lose them all the time. But she was in La La Land. She was gone, and then it kicked in. She kept saying the same sentence over and over again, over. I don't know. I said, what the hell is going on? And then the teleprompter saved her. It kicked in, but it didn't kick in soon enough, let me tell you. Early voting in Wisconsin is underway now, so if you have an absentee ballot, return it right away as soon as you can. You can also vote in person using an absentee ballot starting October 22nd. And whatever you do, you have to get your friends, get them all out. You know, you have a lot of people out there that don't vote, that love us, but they don't vote. You know who doesn't vote much? Rifle owners. We are Second Amendment people, but NRA gave us their total support. We have support from every group, but NRA gave us complete and total endorsement. And during that, I realized that, because I've always gotten it from the NRA, they've been very nice to me, I'll tell you. But they did tell me that people that own guns and rifles don't vote relatively, like a very small percentage, like 15%. If you would vote, nobody could beat us. I'll tell you another one that don't vote. I love these people. Evangelical Christians. The Christian community doesn't vote as much as they should. They go to church. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to church and we're going to get out and vote. But the evangelicals don't vote that much. And if they did vote, we could never lose an election. You couldn't lose, you know? So.
Well, at least it would be hard to.
So I have to be careful with this. I said once about a month ago, you only have to vote this one time. And after that, everything will be good. And the fake news said, see, he wants to be a dictator and take over the country. No, that's not what. I said, we got to fix the country, got to make sure, and then the country will be great, and we're going to have hopefully some great person, whether it's JD or somebody else. And when the great Sean Hannity asked me a question, and I jokingly said, he said, okay, let's get this up. You don't want to be a dictator, do you? I said, Sean, I only want to be a dictator for one day, and I'm going to close the borders and drill, baby, drill. And after that, I never want to be a dictator, right? So the fake news took that answer, and they said, Sean, I want to be a dictator. Click, cut. So they said, Sean, I want to be a dictator. And they go, he wants to be a dictator. They cut the rest of the. These are the worst people. These are the worst. They said he's a threat to democracy. He wants to be a dictator. No, you know the threat to democracy are when you put incompetent people in charge of our country. That's a real threat to democracy. Starting on day one of my new administration, we will end inflation and we will make America affordable again because the prices are too high. The prices are too high. But if crazy Kamala is reelected, one of the first acts will be, and she said this, is to massively raise taxes on American families. You know, I've never seen, all my life, I've loved politics, but I've always been on the other side, like writing checks to politicians, right? But so I really understand, I like it and all, but I've never seen somebody that openly campaigns on the fact that they're going to raise taxes. It's always going to be like when Troy is back in Texas, he's always screaming, I will lower taxes, lower taxes. We always talk, we're going to lower taxes. We want to lower taxes. That's what this group is going to raise your taxes like by 78% or something. And they campaign on it. This is the craziest campaign I've ever been involved in. I had one guy beat, and so I have to beat two people instead of one. I spent $150 million beating sleepy Joe Biden, who I admire greatly for one thing. You know, I always have a hard time sleeping because I toss and turn. And honestly, I do. I think about the country. I'm tossing and turning and tossing because I want to, you know, like a lot of people do. You have businesses, you toss, turn. It's okay. It's like become your way of life, right? We think about whatever we're doing. In my case, I'm thinking about China. I'm thinking about Russia. I'm thinking about lots of things. And by the way, the enemy from within, the crazy lunatics that we have, the fascists, the Marxists, the communists, the people that we have that are actually running the country, not her. She's not running it, and Biden's not running it either, and you all know that. Those people are more dangerous, the enemy from within, than Russia and China and other people. Because if you have a smart president, you'll be able to handle them very well. But Kamala Harris, Lion Kamala, is called the tax queen because she loves taxes. So maybe just watch this video. Thank you.
Joe Biden and I are about to get rid of that tax bill, calling for a full repeal of President Trump's tax cuts. If Kamala Harris was elected president, there are many different tax policies which could cripple the economy. But the first thing she wants to do is allow these Trump tax cuts to expire.
Even the New York Times admits that 85% of the middle class got a tax cut.
Americans will face a hike. Tax Foundation finding that a couple with two kids making $165,000 a year would have to pay over $2,400 more in taxes.
And on day one, I will repeal that tax bill. Joe Biden and I are about to work to get rid of that tax cut. Joe and I are about to get rid of that tax bill. Joe Biden and I are about to get rid of that tax cut. Everything from a 70 to 80% tax rate. I think that's fantastic. We've got to increase the corporate tax rate. Part of that is going to be about repealing that tax bill that they just passed. And also looking at state taxes are going to have to go up. We will tax capital gains, but we're going to have to raise corporate taxes.
Taxing unrealized gains just doesn't seem fair in any sense of the word.
Well, the value of your home goes up, you pay higher taxes even if you don't sell your home.
Your value of your home never moves the way the stock moves to say, we're going to tax what you don't have. That's a sore point, and it's a big deal. Is that something you think she firmly believes in?
I think it's part of the proposals of the campaign.
Under my plan, there will also be a carbon fee. There has to be some connection between the fee and bad behaviors, and there has to be, in that we have to monitor whether it's going to be passed on to consumers. But I'm going to tell you that should never be the reason not to actually put a fee, in particular carbon fee.
How about the tax on unrealized gain? That one hasn't even been tried. That's a communist tax that hasn't been very successful, I tell you. It's, think of it, they want to have a capital gain
on unrealized gains. Think of what they're saying. You're going to pay a tax on something you haven't made. Now, these are stupid people, would be driven into a depression like 1929 style depression. For years, Americans have watched as our country has been stripped of our jobs, stripped of our wealth, and seen our companies being sold off to foreign countries. And by the way, I would not approve the U.S. steel deal to Japan. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. One of the greatest companies in the world, 60 years ago, was one of the greatest countries in the world, and we have to help it. We have to make it better. We have to be able to make steel. It could happen. You have a war, and when you have a war, you need things like army tanks and ships and lots of things that are made of steel. We don't want to get our steel from China. We don't want to get our steel. You know, I put a tremendous tariff because China was...
Yeah, we're done watching that.
In the stillness of the night, I hear a whisper, a fading echo of
Okay, we're done watching that.
left behind. Caught in memories on a silent drifter, searching shadows for the love I'll never find. Echoes of midnight, calling my name. Lost in the silence, haunted by pain. In this darkness, I'm chasing the light, falling apart in the echoes of midnight.
All right, everybody, thanks for tuning in, and I'm going to head off on this stream and start another one. We will talk to you later. Bye-bye. Don't forget to like and follow. Take care and have a good day. Bye-bye.